रितु मैम नहीं है आज?
Sir, she's on leave today.
One
That's
good
why.
move makes all the difference. The best way to predict future is to create it. Take a move. Create a future. Join Shobit University.
As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I'm joining Shobit University. What about you?
A very good afternoon to you all and namaskar. I'm Dr. Gunjan Agarwal, Professor and Dean, School of Liberal Arts and Languages, Shobit University, Gango. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this 11th session of co-learning webinar series. We have with us our respected registrar, sir, Professor Mahipal Singh ji. I request you, sir, to bless us with your motivating words. Please, sir.
Thank you, Gunjan ma'am. Respected Sri Samrendra Das ji, retired AGM, State Bank of India. And today in this webinar series today has chosen a very good topic, that is effective communication, way to success. Yes, surely. Without effective communication, we are not able to express ourselves. So I congratulate your school, your department, and I am very hopeful that today's speaker, Sri Samrendra Das ji, will explain each and every aspect of effective communication. With this, our students will be blessed, and it will be very helpful to us. Thank you very much. And madam, go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So before I introduce our worthy respected speaker of today's session, I would like to mention that the topic effective communication key to success touches everybody's life. And without communication, man is merely an animal. So Galsworthy in his play Justice mentions solitary confinement, a type of punishment and the consequences of the same. So our words not only impact others, but also impact our own personality. Reading, writing, listening, and speaking are four components of communication, and success of anyone depends on the fact at what extent we are able to make our communication an effective one. So now it is time to take a step further, and it is again my pleasure to introduce our worthy speaker, Sri Samrendra Das ji. Sri Samrendra Das ji is Honorable Vice President, Anandita Micro Credit Services Private Limited, and Secretary Sri Jagannath Chetana Trust, Ireland. He is also a member in Advisory Board, Dhankal Cultural Association, Odisha, and member Bharat Vikas Parishad. He worked for almost 34 years in various states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Odisha, and Delhi, holding key assignments as branch heads and AGM regional head. He has got specialization in retail banking, corporate banking, credit administration, consortium lendings, international banking, bank assurance, MSME banking, NPA management, restructuring of NPA loans, prudential banking and Basel norms, internal control and compliances. He has also got MD's Merit Certificate for Performance Excellence in rolling out as a key team member, Core Banking Solution in ESBT 2005. His professional recognition includes Best Trainee Award for CGM of State Bank Staff College 2002, MD's Merit Certificate for securing A+ rating for the branch as Branch Head Nagpur 2011, and a letter of commendation from MD SBI General Insurance for exemplary performance, home loan insurance as head of RAC Delhi 2017-18. Now I request our esteemed guest speaker to share his views and valuable observation on effective communication key to success. Please, sir. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. So, in College of Liberal Arts and Languages, Professor Dr. Gunjan Agarwal ji, esteemed registrar, sir, esteemed faculty members, and dear students. The topic, Susan, is so apt in every sphere of our life. And in a competitive world, effective communication skills are essential. So I'll be touching the broad contours of the topic. Before I go to the topic, I just would like to narrate an event. The day was 11 September. The year was 1893. A young monk, clad in his robes and headgear, stood tall before an august audience in Chicago, the World Parliament of Religions, and he addressed sisters and brothers of America. I feel proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. Swamiji was a communicator par excellence. By addressing these words, he got the longest standing ovation in that august forum with incessant clappings by the audience. And he established a deep and intense connect with the entire people of America. He was very young then, and he was representing Hinduism and India in that August forum. Now, why I relate this story? I relate this story because if our communications skills are effective, we can act in success in our personal and professional lives. Now, moving to the topic, communication is as old as humanity. It is as old as human race, humankind. So communication is an integral part of our life. Right from our birth, as a child, we communicate. As an adolescent, we communicate. As an adult, we communicate. We communicate in the family, we communicate in the society, we communicate in the organization where we work, and we communicate everywhere where we move in our daily lives. What is communication then? Communication is passing on information from one person to the other to convey a message in the most suitable manner and as intended by the sender to the receiver. Well, I'll not touch upon the definitional part of communication, but it is truly said that effective communication is so essential for a person to survive and sustain and to attain success in his or her life. Effective communication is not only essential for individuals, it is essential for any organization to survive in the competitive world and to attain the pinnacle of success. Why we communicate? After all, we communicate to express our ideas, our thoughts, our feelings, our interactions, and our ideas to others. Then, what are the components of effective communication? Effective communication should be clear, it should be concise, it should be concrete, it should be correct, it should be courteous, it should be credible, and it should be coherent. Communication is so vital in today's world for individual, for the society, for any organization, for the nation as a whole to project ourselves properly before the world. Now coming to the communication skill, how we know that our communication skills are good and effective, or a person's communication skills are good and effective? First of all, to have effective communication skill, a person should have excellent language skills, both speaking and writing. Then he or she should be confident, articulate in his or her views. Then he or she should be empathetic. Then he or she should be well informed. Then the person should have excellent non-verbal communication, that is control over oneself, and the person should have the ability to control stress, which is called stress management. And the person should have ability to control his or her emotions. And last but not the least, the person should be a very good listener. He or she should have a tremendous listening skill. That is, always listening something very patiently to know the essence of the communication, to ask questions, and to interact proactively and to give feedback properly. Now coming to the types of communication, what are the various types of communication? Communication is verbal, it is non-verbal. Then there are communications which are top-down, which are bottom-up, and horizontal, vertical, diagonal. Now, verbal communication. What is verbal communication? Verbal communication can be oral communication and it can be written communication. Now see, oral communication is the most common form of communication where two or more people interact face to face. It is a two-way communication process. In meetings, in seminars, in groups, we interact with people. The speaker delivers his or her speech to the audience. The audience listens to the speaker patiently. Then the audience has the opportunity to ask questions, and the audience has the opportunity to give their feedback. But the flaw of verbal communication is that it cannot be stored, but of course of late there are technology where the verbal communication can be recorded and stored to be retrieved on a future date. Now this is oral communication. Now let us come to written communication. Written communication is through text, through messages, through memos, through circulars, through instructions which are transmitted by the sender to the receiver through various modes of communication, like it may be email, it may be through some website, it may be through social media. The advantage of written communication is that it can be stored. Huge volume of communication can be stored in a disk which can be retrieved on a later date. Communication can be one-way communication as well as two-way communication. In one-way communication, the sender sends a message without waiting for the feedback from the receiver. It implies that an instruction is given to the sender without giving him an opportunity to give his feedback. For example, now in the COVID situation, many state governments have imposed night curfews, lockdowns, etc. Here, the particular chief minister of the concerned state, he sends an instruction to various departments and institutions to comply with this. He does not wait for their feedback. What is two-way communication? In two-way communication, the sender sends a message to the receiver and sends that to give a feedback or to give a complaint of the message. Now, there is top-down communication, bottom-up communication. In top-down communication, the management sends messages to the employees or the workers about a particular thing relating to the work environment or a change in the policy, procedures, and processes. This is top-down communication. In bottom-up communication, the subordinates send a representation to the management. So, both top-down communication and bottom-up communication can be both one-way or two-way. Then there is horizontal communication. Horizontal communication is from a particular department head to another department head and both way. Then there is vertical communication. Vertical communication is a communication which flows from the top to the subfloor or to the ground level. Then there is a diagonal communication. A particular department head who is in a particular role, when he or she interacts with a particular department head who is higher, occupying a higher position or a lower position, then the communication is diagonal communication. Now, communication in an organization. Why communication after all takes place in an organization? Communication in an organization, it is basically very well structured and very well formatted and very well regulated. Why communication happens in an institution or organization? It helps the management in planning and decision making. Then it helps the management to have smooth operation and day-to-day running of the institution or organization. It facilitates better coordination and it facilitates effective control. Then communication in an organization results in cordial work environment and industrial peace. Then communication in an organization, it is used to motivate employees to enhance their morale. Then it is used to pass instructions to the subfloor managers to improve the work environment for the employees. Then communication in an organization, it helps to build good teams. Then communication in an organization, it helps to enhance employee productivity. Communication in an organization, it helps to reduce cost. Then last but not the least, communication and effective communication in an organization, it helps to build the organization robustly and attain organizational growth. Also, it helps to build the brand of the organization by projecting the organization in a much better way in the society and in the country. Now, effective communication, how we know that effective communication is helping a person or an institution to project the person himself or the institution to attain the preset goals. So in this context, I would like to mention that many large organizations have dedicated and well-structured communication departments. For example, in State Bank of India, we have a corporate communication department at our corporate center in Bombay, which is headed by a top executive officer. What does the corporate communication department do? The corporate communication department tracks the media, the print media, the electronic media, the social media, about the news being published or flashed about State Bank of India, which affects State Bank of India in various ways, sometimes in positive manner and sometimes in negative manner. So the corporate communication department scans the messages every day and they come up with very proactive response and replies to these particular news items published in the print media, electronic media, and social media. So the primary goal of the corporate communication department is to ensure that the image and reputation of State Bank of India is maintained and maintained very well. State Bank of India thrives on the goodwill of people and goodwill of the nation. So it will never intend that this reputation and the image built over 2 centuries is tarnished on flimsy grounds. And the communication department of SBI is also functioning at various local head office level. We have got public relations departments headed by assistant general manager, and the assistant general manager of the particular local head office ensures that in a particular state or area, whatever news is published about State Bank of India, it does not affect State Bank of India in bad light or in a negative manner. So the communication department in SBI is really, it is functioning very professionally and very well. I just cited this example, but in many of the leading PSUs and institutions of various kinds, even in educational institutions, there used to be dedicated communication department, or there may be a dedicated officer who handles this particular portfolio. Another dimension to this can be the RTI Act, where many people seek information from organizations on various RTI. So, if he or she can RTI in a very quick manner, and this helps the organization to keep its reputation intact. Now, communication has effective communication has tremendous benefits for the individual and for the organization, as I mentioned. What are the benefits of effective communication for an individual? When we possess effective communication skills, then we attain success. But this success is attained through a process. What is the process? When we possess effective communication to build trust, we are able to make relationships and we are able to make, we are able to nurture this relationship, then we are able to influence people, then we are able to make our work environment cordial. We are able to communicate properly with our peers, with our colleagues. Then we make our family atmosphere very cordial. And of course, we attain professional success through effective communication skills. Well, coming to the effective communication skills, the non-verbal communication skills are very important. Non-verbal communication skills, basically, these are body languages. These are our body gestures, like our smile, like our frown, like our eye contact, like our winks, like our handshake. So, when we manage these things properly, then our communication skills become very good and very effective. Now, a person who has managed his non-verbal communication skills very well, definitely the person will be successful. Now, a new field has originated to study the body languages of a person. This field is known as kinetics. That is why a person has to groom himself or herself through acquiring proper personal and social etiquette. So here comes the question, how we groom ourselves. Let me give an example. As a student or students, most of their time is consumed in academic studies and they have lack of time to garner these skills. So what happens? How do they acquire these skills? Now the concept of finishing school, it has come to stay, and many leading universities in the country, they have started the concept of finishing school, which emphasizes on the overall personality development of the students. Now, the overall personality development of the students, it hinges upon certain aspects like language skill, both written and spoken, then personal grooming, then making the students employ through are exposed to group discussion, personal interview, etc. Then of course personal grooming goes a long way, teaching the students etiquette, how to behave in a group, how to behave in a gathering, how to behave in society, how to face an interview. Then personal grooming also comprises of sense of dress, sense of good manners, sense of fine dining, then the sense of carrying oneself very confidently and very courageously in the society. So, the concept of finishing school is helping many students to refine their etiquette, to refine their behavior, to refine their personality development overall. Now here, I'll just give an example which happened to me long ago. I was attending a workshop for 2 weeks on advances conducted by our bank, and we were about 25 to 30 participants in that workshop. We were allotted to particular unit in an industrial estate to conduct a study on various aspects of that unit and submit a project report. Well, we submitted the project report. The D-Day came, and on behalf of my group, my coordinator told that you present the paper. Hearing this, my anxiety really, it shut up. But then it was a challenge for me, and somehow I have to present the paper. I cannot say no. Then I control my anxiety, my anxiousness, my emotions, and I scribbled on a notepad few sentences which would enable me to speak about 5 to 10 minutes while presenting the paper. Well, I went to the dais. I started speaking, though there was enough nervousness. But after 1 or 2 minutes, I heard loud clappings. Then my nervousness disappeared, and that went off very well. So how it happened? I developed communication skills over the years through various means, and I managed to control my emotions, anxiety well. That is how it happened. So we never develop communication skills in a day. We never develop communication skill in a week. We develop communication skill over the years, striving hard by reading, by interacting with others, by reading lot many books, lot many journals, probably by reading some books on behavioral science. And here comes to my mind the very fantastic book. Rather, I'll advise my student friends to read this book to develop their communication skills. The book is by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This book I read in the college and in the university, which helped me tremendously to hone my communication skills. So, in today's world, laced with rat race, unless we develop our communication skills, it would be very difficult for us to lead a happy and contented life. So, I would advise the students that along with your academic studies, you try to hone your communication skills in a very systematic and structured way by reading various books, journals. Then, in case possible and in case it is feasible, please enroll yourself in some good finishing school or coaching centers which are dedicated for this purpose. And here at these institutions, a student can definitely acquire better communication skills and prepare himself or herself to face the personal interviews, group discussions, etc. Probably the students who hail from rural hinterland and from a very rustic background, their language skills might not be that good. So, in the colleges or universities where they study, if these institutions introduce and implement the concept of finishing school, then it would be of great help to these students, as they can always participate in these well-structured processes to improvise their language skills, both written and spoken, and their public speaking skills, and their demeanor, and their behavior, and their etiquette. So, effective communication skill is very much necessary in our personal and professional life. Now, before I conclude, I would quote the legendary leader Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela mentioned, I never lose. I never lose. I either win or learn. Nelson Mandela was spearheading the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa, and he was jailed for 27 years. He was subjected to tremendous physical torture and abuses. He used to say, they abused me physically, mentally. They took away the best stage of life from me. I could not see my children grown up, but they could not, I didn't give them my heart and mind. He was a person, he was a man with a steely heart. In the year 1993, Nelson Mandela was awarded Nobel Peace Prize, and on 27th April 1994, Nelson Mandela was elected as the President of South Africa in a democratic manner. Why I mentioned about Nelson Mandela is to drive home the point that he was such a communicator. He was an icon. He was a legend who captivated, who mesmerized his global audience through his amazing communication skills. And wherever he went, wherever he visited, the audience was floored simply by his aura and by his excellent communication skills. There were legendary communicators in modern times: Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Barack Obama, Nelson Mandela, Swami Vivekananda, and of course, the late Steve Jobs. Through their effective communication skills, they built nations, they built large corporations, built iconic brands, and they contributed hugely to the development and progression of their respective societies, nations, and the humanity. Steve Jobs mentioned, stay hungry, stay foolish. Two words, but the stay hungry, stay hungry for knowledge, stay hungry for ideas. What? Stay foolish and innovative ideas. Do something out of box. People may think that you are engaged in some foolish activity, but one day your idea will endure you with the entire people, with the entire humanity. So these leaders were very skilled and very effective communicators, communicating their ideas, thoughts, values, missions, visions to their audience. Very effective. So I'll conclude by saying to communicate is to breathe, to communicate is to live, to communicate is to communicate is to succeed.
Thank you very much, sir, for this enlightening session. Very nice. So I have some questions. If you permit, then I would like to ask.
Sure, please.
When we talk about effective communication, maybe the language is Hindi, English, or any other regional language. So it is something about, interpersonal relationship or intrapersonal relationship. So don't you think that this type of thing, if we just believe in artificiality of life, so is this a journey towards, artificiality? Every time, if we just take care of our communication, in a formal society, nowadays in informal society also with family or friends, most of the time, everybody expects something good from other people. So do you think that this is a journey towards artificiality? What is your opinion, sir?
Well, we inherit certain traits very naturally and inherently from our family. So our communication skills are built on these natural traits. And to hone our skills, we go for this WhatsApp, we go for this reading, we develop on our etiquette pattern, we develop our behavior pattern. So when you are already having your inbuilt natural traits, you are just leveraging on these natural traits. So I would never say that when we strive to develop our communication skills, it will not be a situation where our artificiality is reflected. Rather, these natural traits go very well with our acquired skills. So our natural traits always put us in a good state.
You mean to say what we are should be reflected later or sooner? Every person, knows very well what is our reality, and your style makes a man. This is something about it. And I have one more question. It has been asked, ऐसी वाणी बोलिए मन का आपा खोए, औरन को शीतल करे आपा हो शीतल होए. In Hindi literature, this is a sentence कि we should speak in such a way. ऐसी वाणी बोलिए मन का आपा खोए और उनको शीतल करे आपा हो शीतल होए. So do you think that there's a situation, because you are related to government sector, you have worked with so many people, for example, if you have to tell reality, and reality is not so good, reality is not so sweet, so in which type of words would you choose to tell your thing to your boss, for example?
Well, I here give an example. It is a very profound example. I was working in Delhi, and I was in Delhi local head office in the real estate housing business unit. I was reporting to a particular deputy general manager. So, on a particular day, probably his moods were different, and he used some unpalatable language towards me. Rather, very frustrated, and his anger was showing on his face. I heard very patiently, but I was very courageous to tell him, "I'm very sorry, sir. What you stated is not correct. You can take feedback from the previous GM whom you replaced, and you can take the feedback from the chief general manager who knows me and knows me well." So this is why I convey message to him. It was a straight talk with him. So I started with that story, sir. So that is the way we convey message to your boss. We have to be very polite and we have to be very firm at the same time.
So, very true, right, sir? Okay, just one more question I have to ask, if you permit. So, what would you like to suggest? What would you like to suggest our students to enhance their speaking skills or to make their communication effective one? You know, sometimes they have been suggested ki, listening is very important, or listening is the very first step. And through listening, they can train their ear, they can understand very well. And when they understand, they can respond. So, but it is not only about listening, it is something about, writing, it's speaking. And so how can they develop their skills, and how can make their communication effective one? What are the tips according to you?
Well, I will go back to my student days, maybe some 4 years back. I was studying my graduation in a college. We were never good speakers in college, but we have a concept of seminar and societies of different arts departments. Like my honor subject was economics. We had one economic society in our college where 16 of us economic honor students were active members and other economic students were there. So we used to organize seminars on different topics. So there it was mandatory for each student, each of us 16 boys and girls, to speak 10 minutes on that particular subject selected for that seminar. So this is one way, conducting seminar. Another way can be conducting a debate, extempore debate for the students in the particular department, in the college of arts and languages. You give them a subject, say, our report, and let all of them speak 5 minutes each. So these are the ways they can develop their skills. And as far as writing is concerned, of course there must be a subject business communication, and of course they can be giving some some tutorial help. Like in fact, there was a concept of tutorial class and internal assessment. So in tutorial classes, a group of students, honors, the teacher teaches some various subjects. And they used to conduct internal assessment for 20 marks. So they used to give topic one day before. And this internal assessment is 20 marks. Then you have to answer the next day, the examination, maybe for 1 hour or 45 minutes. So that there is some 4 or 5 internal assessments in a year. Then so these are the ways we can be adapted. But of course, everything has to be done as per the curriculum and syllabus. But the concept of seminars and conducting tests among the students, it very well be thought of and implemented.
Right, sir. Very true. Bacon from 16th century England, he is considered as the father of English prose and essay, and he has written reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, but writing an exact man. When you are a part of the game, when you are a part of the game, then you learn how to play. So this is the best technique. We too follow these techniques. And now it's time to propose vote of thanks. And I really enjoyed this wonderful session. And it is always a matter of pleasure for me to acknowledge the contribution and blessings of all behind the curtain and backstage. And I would like to thank Sovereign Almighty God, who has given us power and to organize such things for the benefit of our students and faculty. On behalf of Shobit family, I would like to thank our worthy, honorable, respected speaker, sir, Das sir. You have thrown light on the various aspects of communication, effective communication, and what is the role of effective communication in various aspects of life, maybe professional or informal. So this is very important for all, and we should remember this. Dr. Manjula Goyal, I would like to read his comments. Actually, she is associate professor in RKSD PG College, Kaithal, and she has been my research scholar also. She did doctorate, and she is very efficient and very knowledgeable, and she writes very important topic in today's scenario, as English is our second language, which tools should be adopted to enhance effective communication skills. So you have already replied. So thank you very much. Thank you again. I enjoyed the session. I hope all have enjoyed the session. And I'm thankful to our respected registrar, sir, for his constant support and his words of, motivation. And I'm thankful to all the participants, organizing team, including our highly dedicated technical team. Thank you very much, Akhilesh ji. Thank you very much. And with this prayer, I would like... to conclude the session. Sarve bhavantu sukhine, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashe dukh bhag bhavet. So thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.